The gang population was becoming quite large here in the community of Prosser and the communities around us. And so the mayor and the city decided to partner up to make a gang prevention program.
The idea to start the Boys and Girls Club came from the fact that we had started a gang task force in the city of Prosser in 2008. And the gang task force was really looking to try and prevent a lot of the graffiti that we had occurring around town. We were also looking to do some youth outreach and to really reassign some of our police department in order to have more of a focus on the gang issues.
It has slowly been growing over the past few years, and it's not to an uncontrollable point yet, but we don't want it to get to that uncontrollable point, especially in a small town, a small community where it can just explode if it has the chance to. And especially for the communities around us, they're just as small, maybe a little bigger or a little smaller, and we don't want our situation here in our community to expand to their communities and have everything just escalate. So we're trying to catch it before it starts.
The city of Prosser really undertook what we thought was a huge dream in order to transition our recreation program to a Boys and Girls Club program. And it has been just an amazing partnership that we've created with the school district, with the Boys and Girls Club, and with our community. The partnership has been invaluable because we believe that in the long run, it will actually prevent kids from being involved in gangs. It gives kids lots of things to do, and we believe that's part of what it takes to keep kids from finding other things that really aren't good for them. And we really feel like this was the best investment. The citizens at first responded kind of slowly. We were surprised that we didn't have people just banging down our doors waiting to enroll their children. Today, we actually have a large waiting list for kids, and well beyond what we even take per day.
We like to think of the big waiting list as a positive encouragement, because if the waiting list is big, that means the community likes it enough to want us here. We have multiple national programs going through the Boys and Girls Club of America. That ranges from physical activities to mental activities to creative activities such as the art room, learning center, games room, stuff like that. So we have also seen multiple maturity growth in each individual, no matter the race, ethnicity, gender, age, you name it. It all has, it slowly changes in a positive manner around here.
The budget at City Hall was realigned in order to accommodate the Boys and Girls Club, and we did that by just eliminating a position that was vacant and taking that money and really applying it towards the Boys and Girls Club. We spent an awful lot of time analyzing it and working with the club and the school district, creating partnerships to make it work for all of us. If you take a leadership role in trying to improve your community and you really look at changing the way things are run, you can create great partnerships like we've done in this case. And the partnerships have been invaluable for us.
So whether or not it's renovating the club or receiving financial donations or stuff like that, the involvement through the community is very impactful here.
What surprised us the most about this was the fact that we did it so quickly. We actually were able to start the analysis and get this project underway in about 7 or 8 months' time. The community responded in an amazing way because not only did the city and the school district have to come to the table with funding and partnerships, but the Boys and Girls Club requires a financial commitment from the community. And so fundraising was done to bring in a substantial amount of money for our community in order to start the Boys and Girls Club.
To see a small town of, 10,000 or less in Washington State, receive a donation of a building to try to grow a Boys and Girls Club and have it just explode as it has been in this last year, is just really impressive. It's really shocking, but it's really awesome at the same time. I just didn't expect a small town to have something this impactful grow this fast. Why do people come to the Boys and Girls Club?
Because kids don't have really anything to do when they come home besides sit around.
Yeah, you don't want to just sit around?
That gets kind of boring.
What we're hoping the impact is, and how I see the impact of this project to the community, is by preventing kids from getting involved in gangs. It should also really help these kids grow. They've got lots of mentors. They've got just people that are really showing them how they can be responsible, caring adults in the future.
I like games room and outside.
I like the learning center.
Yeah, why is that?
Because Jill helps me do my homework.
The kids are awesome, and they're slowly growing. They're slowly understanding what a positive life looks like. What do you like about the Boys and Girls Club?
Everything?
Everything. That's a good answer. High five on that one.
Community to me means together we actually serve others.
Community means family, businesses, and education.
Where everyone feels welcomed.
Community means caring about one another, but not just the people, our land, our soil, our water, our buildings. Our sense of community is basically in our hearts.
The gang population was becoming quite large here in the community of Prosser and the communities around us. And so the mayor and the city decided to partner up to make a gang prevention program.
The city of Prosser really undertook what we thought was a huge dream in order to transition our recreation program to a Boys and Girls Club program. And it has been just an amazing partnership that we've created with the school district, with the Boys and Girls Club, and with our community. The citizens at first responded kind of slowly. We were surprised that we didn't have people just banging down our doors waiting to enroll their children. Today, we actually have a large waiting list for kids, and well beyond what we even take per day.
We like to think of the big waiting list as a positive encouragement, because if the waiting list is big, that means the community likes it enough to want us here. Why do people come to the Boys and Girls Club?
Because kids don't have really anything to do when they come home besides sit around.
Yeah, you don't want to just sit around?
That gets kind of boring.
What we're hoping the impact is, and how I see the impact of this project to the community, is by preventing kids from getting involved in gangs.
I like games room and outside.
I like the learning center.
Yeah, why is that?
Because Jill helps me do my homework.
The kids are awesome, and they're slowly growing. They're slowly understanding what a positive life looks like. What do you like about the Boys and Girls Club?
Everything?
Everything. That's a good answer. High five on that one.
It was a very high-profile job for the city. We had a lot riding on it. We had worked very diligently on getting the new hospital to relocate here.
We actually were able to grant land use approval to the hospital, and part of the land use approval was coming up with a traffic mitigation plan. To alleviate the citizen impacts and complaints, we broke this one project into two components to minimize the impacts of the traffic, because we didn't want to have Canterwood shut down, diverted, and then also have the roundabout improvements going on at the same time. We early on made outreach to the Fish and Wildlife, WFDW, as well as the Corps of Engineers. We also worked with the design team and also Department of Transportation, because it was a multi-jurisdictional permitting process. We had wetland impacts by the associated widening of the on and off ramps, And due to that a quarter acre or so of impacts, we had to mitigate that by providing an additional almost 2 acres of improved wetland. Projects combined, the total amount came in well over $1 million under the awarded contract amounts, so a huge substantial savings.
Because this project came in on time, within budget, due to the management of City of Gig Harbor and our partnership with them, we are very fortunate indeed, knowing that we are truly a hospital that is just seconds off of Highway 16.
The Waitsburg Community Revitalization Committee was formed about 10 years ago, and it's just the city looking at the downtown and seeing that it needed to have do something about the appearance of the town. It's kind of going through cycles. It's an ad hoc committee of the city. We have no authority for expenditure of funds. Most of our grants were from government entities such as the port and the Department of Transportation. We got a couple of nice grants from them. One of the key things that we did was to create a formal plan and hire an architect to prepare that for us. To have this plan where people could actually see a conceptual design of what it was going to look like, I think that really helped us land some of these grants.
Once it was in place, the enthusiasm was immeasurable. People were more inclined to volunteer their time. Our volunteer work became it was tremendous. It gave them a lot more pride in the community, which I think it also encouraged the volunteerism of our people. And it's really carrying on. It's just snowballing from this point on. It really is.
The revitalization project here in Waitsburg has been really a helpful thing for all businesses, mine included, in that there's more people out on the street. It brings more foot traffic.
It's made all the difference. For the outlook of our downtown corridor, and everybody's participated in a very positive way, and that's helped too. So the community spirit revolving around this has been really great.
The Renton Film Frenzy was started in 2008, so we're headed into our 4th year. And it's a project of the Renton Community Marketing Campaign, which is an initiative of the City of Renton that includes all of our key stakeholders in the community. So the city, the chamber, the school district, the technical college, and Valley Medical Center. And it's an effort really to help Renton showcase what a great place it is to live, work, learn, and play, and also to visit. The way the whole competition was set up, the films have to actually be shot right here in our community. So you have from Friday night until Sunday night, 50 hours to make a 4-minute film.
The amount of people that showed up for it the very first year was kind of minimal. The second year it got a little bit bigger. In the third year I wasn't expecting very many people, and about 50 people came to the venue, and there was a big question and answer process, and it brought the community together as far as a community conversation. The amount of effort that the city has put in to try to revitalize the downtown core, and also do simple little events like this where they bring community leaders together and give them the ball and say, hey, let's do this thing. They've spent time, money, and effort to help synergize our community, and it's actually working.
We started working with the Seattle International Film Festival and their Future Wave program, really just to try to tap into the students and the educational element of filmmaking. And it turns out that the relationships we built through their Future Wave program have turned into significant relationships. So Renton this year, in just a few weeks, will be one of the venues for the Seattle International Film Festival.
The CSRT grew out of some discussions when we were facing some difficult budget realities. And so rather than look at reducing services, we looked at consolidating services. And so we came up with the idea of taking the community service officers from our neighborhood police unit and the code enforcement officers from our community development department and the legal support staff from the city attorney's office, and decided to merge these operations together and to co-locate them in City Hall so that we could create a new community-oriented team.
Once we developed the team, we developed policies and how we were going to work together. The reaction has been really amazing, with people being very supportive and very eager to see what this team can do and to work with this team.
Think of us as one-stop shopping. There's so many of us here that have special talents. We can usually come up with a solution that may not be found elsewhere in the city.
No! We've had a negative reputation for more than our share of crime, in particular along the I-5 corridor. No! And this CSRT effort is part of a concerted movement to turn this community around so that it can redevelop with a high quality of life into a very vibrant and safe and robust community.
The idea for our revitalization started about 10 years ago with a citizens advisory group on realigning two major state highways that run through our town. And they came up with some principles about expanding our park and creating new spaces for commercial work that really were the foundation of the work that we've done over the last decade.
We didn't know how we were going to get the project off the ground 6 years ago, let alone find a way to break ground on $80 million of public infrastructure investments, which our economists predict that will generate and leverage $650 million of private sector investment.
We made it happen by being very persistent and by saving our resources when times were very good. When revenue was high, we maintained a 20% operating reserve, and we had our bond rating upgraded twice. We then identified through our capital facilities plan those projects that we wanted to invest in when the market was down, when labor costs were lower, and when material costs were lower, and then we executed on that plan.
About 50 citizens stepped forward to be on a committee that was initially only supposed to be a few dozen people, but the council embraced that involvement, and they've continued to be involved as we design each element of the project, the park, the streets, Main Street, City Hall.
It'll give us our first movie theater in downtown. We're going to have a hotel in downtown, and we're also going to preserve part of our history in the Anderson building. So I think in 15 to 20 years, you're going to see a growing campus on the University of Washington Bothell, and you're going to see a revitalized downtown that still keeps its character.
The idea basically came from City Hall. When we built City Hall, we did rain gardens. And of course, that was at the commercial level. So to bring it to the community level for both educational purposes, but then to put it in a neighborhood and get the communities involved, we were just really excited about offering that opportunity to our neighbors.
Rain gardens are a stormwater feature. We basically take the runoff from the roofs and put it into a depression that's got amended soils in it that absorbs all the rainwater and infiltrates it into the ground, which is a more natural way of infiltrating stormwater versus allowing the impervious surface to create stormwater runoff and pollution. We're trying to encourage citizens in the city of Puyallup to install these on their own. This is the pilot program to get that education and outreach out there so they're aware of this alternative of treating stormwater.
The city of Puyallup is, after today, we'll have installed 29 rain gardens, and we've done that over the last 2 years, and we've done it all with Department of Ecology grant funding. The way that this program functions is not from people at the city telling people what rain gardens are. It's that neighbors tell neighbors what rain gardens are and how they can care after the community.
The citizens have responded overwhelmingly. Number one, definitely about education. They've had the opportunity to go to meetings to understand what rain gardens are, and then basically in some way it's become almost competitive. Which neighborhood gets the opportunity of putting in a rain garden?
You can do things at a very basic level that will have a big impact on your city. Look at this, it promotes community. We're out here helping each other. And isn't that what communities are all about?